Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I feel like 343 is somewhat neglecting PvE community for Halo Infinite. And for everyone who doesn't really know what I'm coming from, Halo 3, 4, 5 all had really strong PvE communities, and they had things that made not only go multiplayer to do play versus player or casual or competitive play. Like they made it so those weren't the only things that you had to look forward to when you got on a Halo game. And I feel like Halo Infinite is kind of missing that. And season 2 is definitely not going to be addressing that much. Like all we're getting for season 2 for the PvE community is really co-op campaign, which is something that a lot of people have wanted since launch, and something that a lot of people wish they had to experience for when they played Halo Infinite's campaign. Seeing how it's just an open world, it felt really much more fun to play with friends, family, or just couch co-op. Anything. It's just you didn't really get the old Halo experience that you would have had if you had played previous Halo titles with a friend or family member, because it wasn't, you had to go through it by yourself. And I feel like 343 just doesn't care for the PvE community of Halo Infinite as much as they do about the PvP community. Now, for Halo 3 ODST, Halo, well, 3 ODST, we're not gonna talk about that one, but 4 and 5 we'll talk about, because for 4 and 5, 4 had Spartan Ops, which gave a lot of players something they could have actually done instead of constantly playing big team battles, Slayer, and anything else. They just had other stuff to do besides constantly hopping on Halo 4 and playing multiplayer, especially because they were trying to rank up more and etc. So you had challenges for Spartan Ops and things like that. Then for Halo 5, we also had Firefight, but we got, before Firefight we had Warzone, which came out with launch as well. These two Halo games gave us PvE communities who didn't only had to stick to playing player versus player. Now, Warzone for Halo 5, not so much, because Warzone was PvE and PvP. But Halo Infinite doesn't give the PvE community anything to work with whatsoever. All we get is the campaign, which is single player, and on top of that, a lot of campaign rewards that you would want from multiplayer, you cannot get. They're locked. I talked about it a little bit on one of my older videos. I'll put it up here somewhere in a card so you can check it out. It's only 2 minutes. But I feel like Halo Infinite is kind of neglecting the PvE community. And I feel like Season 2 might change that, but I'm not too sure. I wouldn't have high hopes, because they did say we're going to get lore events and things like that. So I'm hoping this will progress the story for our personalized Spartan, the one we created for ourselves. Kind of like how in Spartan Ops, we had to follow the story of that team. I wish we would get to follow our own Spartan, or the Spartan Academy storyline with our own Spartan. But I don't know if we're going to get that, and if we do get that, we might not get that till Season 3 or 4. It just seems like 343 doesn't really care if for a firefight or a Spartan Ops similarity in Halo Infinite. And I think it would really help the game out, in my opinion, seeing how all everybody can do is either play campaign or player with other players and or bots. And I feel like that's not really a fun or a casual Halo experience, because if you're constantly playing quick play or just casual Halo game modes, eventually you're gonna start to run into tryhards or just play around people that are on your skill level. And if you're just trying to hop on Halo for a casual experience, you might not want to get into a match where people who are normally playing at your best, when you're just trying to sit down, relax, and just have fun. It kind of takes away from the casual Halo player experience, and I think it will be more casual or just more fun for a person is to play some form of PvE content, like again firefight or Spartan ops. But I don't know, it's up to you guys. Like MCC recently got its Halo firefight update for Flood, and the community has been enjoying that a lot, and it just makes me realize that we're still missing PvE content in Halo Infinite, and I'm hoping that changes. I really am. But how everyone is over the PvE content of Halo MCC, and the fact that Halo Infinite only has a single player campaign, it's gonna get more content as it goes on. But I do feel like they're not trying to pump out as much content for the PvE community, or even for people who sat down and did everything they wanted and got a full complete experience out of the Infinite campaign. Because even though there were a few things that you could unlock from the Halo Infinite campaign, there's 2 legendary stances that we can't get access to, a couple weapon charms that we can't get access to. There's a lot of things that we don't have from the Halo Infinite campaign that we should. And I just think that it's okay to just address the customizations and the lack of customizations that we have in Halo Infinite, and the lack of content we have for multiplayer. But we have no content whatsoever for people who just like to or prefer to just shoot elites, brutes, hunters, grunts, and everything like that. The only thing they have is the campaign. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Halo Infinite should get more PvE oriented content, or should it just stick to focusing on PvP? And I feel like the main reason for it just getting only PvP content right now is because they are trying to please a broader audience. And right now in gaming or shooters in general, most shooters are focusing on only the PvP aspect for their communities. So I guess that is a reason behind it. But I still do think that Halo should try and focus on its PvE community and allow players to have something to do besides shoot other Spartans that isn't campaign. But what do you guys think? They're not neglecting the PvE community? You guys think that we don't need PvE content? Like, I feel like a lot of people are probably content with us just having campaign, but after Reach 4 and 5, I feel like, and Halo MCC, I feel like 343 should know that the Halo community does like having its PvE. It likes to just go and shoot aliens or the Covenant, Banished, whatever it may be. The community likes to do those things. It isn't always about playing Slayer, King of the Hill, Free For All, or maybe even Infection if we get that in Season 2. It's just the community just likes to do its core stuff. It's bread and butter. Killing aliens with rocket launchers, snipers, energy swords, etc. I just feel like this is a problem that 343 just is completely ignoring and doesn't really care for.